Hi, my name is Sam Led, and welcome to The Fearless Now. This is for you in the nosebleed seats, if you're looking for an easier way to approach anxiety, stress, and unhealthy habits from the inside out. There's no techniques and no strategies, so sit back, relax, and let me be your peace of mind Uber driver, here on The Fearless Now. Welcome to the Fearless Now podcast. My name is Sam Led. This is episode number 9. We're about to hit double digits. And on this day, this very historic day, I sit talking to all of you, my very special audience, that I've enjoyed sharing this insight and wisdom of the 3 principles. Something very historic has happened, as you know, on this November 7th, as I record this episode. I'm going to try to keep it together because it's such a wonderful, wonderful time to be an American, to be a citizen. We have a changing of the guard. Now, I'm not political, and I don't want this podcast at all to be political. But the real missing link to being a real leader and statesman, in my opinion, and as a coach and as someone who practices mind, thought, and consciousness and sees the beauty in humanity and sees the beauty in human beings for who you are underneath all of that habituated thinking and all of that conditioning and all of the fear and anxiety and stress and foreboding that we've all dipped a toe into or continue to dip a toe into as we manage and cope with this ongoing, unfortunately growing pandemic in this country. You'll got to understand how powerful the spoken word is and getting into that feel-good feeling of who you are. And it doesn't even take a podcast like this one or even a changing of the guard of the president. But if that can be helpful, be really curious over the next couple months when our new president speaks and how you feel and the feeling you get just by listening to understand and getting quiet versus what we've had before. Now, I'm not judging the current president for all of his humanness, all of his errors. I'm not judging everything, but I know what hate speech feels like. I know what it is to turn the other cheek and to also see the humanity in people, whether you are Black, white, Muslim, Hispanic, Jewish, whatever you are. I do know that words resonate, that words have power. And on this historic day, I do know that hope has been reinstated as a defining default state in this country. And that's what we're going to talk about in this episode, that our default state is hope. And it's not just some cliched word or some emoji or not even emoji, like a bumper sticker or a quote that you see on Instagram. Hope is the underlying factor that what makes us a spiritual being in a physical body, that our brain, our supercomputer really doesn't understand what hope is until it experiences it. And to me, what I see with hope, the power of hope, and that was a great book. I forgot who wrote that book a couple of years ago. Hope is what one of the great 3Ps teachers, George Pransky, talks about. And I was listening to one of his YouTube videos, a talk with Dick and Bettinger, who's another wonderful 3Ps teacher, a psychologist. And they were talking about the notion of relaxing into hope. It's a feeling of relaxation that overcomes you when you let go of the controls and you give up. I'm not talking about giving up by ending your life or anything like that. I'm just talking about when you have nothing more to lose and you relinquish your controls to hope. It's not just a metaphor. It's not just some kitschy Instagram anecdote or something you see online. It's literally relaxing into the moment, despite how hungry you are if you're really struggling and don't have food in the refrigerator, despite how scared you are if you're dealing with COVID issues or you're dealing with health issues, despite how scared it feels in the moment when you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And your mind is creating all this future fantasy, creating all these stories about, if you don't take care of this soon, you're going to be ... fill in the blank. Whereas, I'm going to look for that feeling of hope and relax into it and let go. Full stop, period. When London bridges are falling down around you, when the shit hit the fan a long time ago and you're sitting in your apartment or your house and you don't know how you're going to make ends meet because you were laid off or your child is sick. Relaxing into hope isn't giving up. It's not giving in. It's literally a feeling of relaxation that overcomes us when we have no choice but just to sit still, literally sit still and breathe. And we drop out of all that chaotic, crazy thinking that our mind is wrapping around what it perceives as our problems. For some of you, they very well may be problems, but the sun does shine. And once that thinking gets calmer, once you calm down into the moment and you literally drop out into the moment and you're so present in the moment, you find that hidden secret sauce, that liminal space when you drop out of thinking and it's just calm. A lot of times it's hard to explain. We all experience it. Sometimes in that come to Jesus moment when everything feels lost, everything feels hopeless, everything feels like a train wreck. But just like our inner resilience that I've spoken about in many other of my episodes, well, many of my other episodes, I've only done 9. Inner peace and that inner hope is that feeling of relaxation where nothing more can be done to me or can be done to you. It can't get any worse besides death. And there's this inner expansiveness. And I know this sounds really esoteric, but that's because your mind is trying to figure out what I'm saying. And if it is trying to wrap around what I'm trying to say and it's judging it and it's questioning it, that's the time to pull back and realize that your mind is interfering with this. Look for a feel-good feeling in these words or in the space between these words. When you see that, when you drop out of all of that judgment about what I'm saying or about what your neighbor's saying or about the presidential election, if you're not happy about the change of the guard, what got me to tears or almost got me choked up to tears earlier today when I saw the new president-elect and the possibility of calm and healing and just treating the country and the world with a little bit nicer tenor, that we don't have to hit our fellow neighbors, hit ourselves over the heads and be mean with mean words, with us versus them words, with it's my way or it's the highway words, threatening and coercing and this very one-sided, very tyrannical persona. If you don't think that words have power, well, look at your own thinking. Look at your own mind wrapping around those words erroneously, innocently, when we've had 4 years of a lot of anger and hate and vitriol and pointing fingers, criticism, and all that time listening to that. Now, if you don't listen to mainstream media or any kind of media, all the power to you. But the tenor has changed. Thank God. Because there is a hope waiting to pop out of a gift box somewhere in America or somewhere in the world with a bow on it, a really nice bow, that our inner resilience is tied to that feeling. And for me, it's that inner relaxation that I get when I feel like all I have is my hope now. And the greatest metaphor is asking any homeless person that's not combative, that's just homeless, and you ask that homeless person, you can feel the hope in them, or a cancer patient, even if they are terminal. There is still hope until the end, but we don't even know if that is the end of someone's life. Hope is found in emergency rooms, in hospitals. Terminal cancer patients still have hope. Hope is not about believing in something that's unattainable. Hope is about believing in who you are, knowing that there's something bigger than the 3D world out there. There's something bigger than what's going on right now in your outside circumstances. And if you can tap into that moment without having to force it and just get really present, despite the tears, you'll see that hope very calmly tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, remember me? There's nothing to do. There's nothing to fix about you. You are perfect in who and what you are. Despite your flaws, despite what's going on and how chaotic your world is or how chaotic your job is or how chaotic your family is, you got this. And even if you don't, there's a feeling of relaxation, of inner peace just around the corner. If you just hold on and let those thoughts pass and allow yourself to get really still and to see that there is a changing of the guard. There's a change of the guard in you and me, that finally after 4 years, we're seeing the potential in all of us as a collective society. We're seeing the potential in the collective consciousness of the world. This is a good day, but you can experience good in every day, despite how poor or rich or how scared you are. You're just one thought away from feeling who and what you are. which is good and kind and loving. Hope you've enjoyed this episode number 9 of the Fearless Now podcast. If you like what you hear, please like and comment and subscribe. That gives me the opportunity to do more of these episodes. These episodes cost me money. I have to pay to get them edited and make them sound really nice for you guys, although it's not much editing. So please like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, and they tell their friends, and they tell their friends, and so on and so on. So this podcast is available to those who really, really need it. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't give up, and I'll see you again for another episode of The Fearless Now.